Hi everybody, this is Darren from RAC Training, and today I'm going to show you how to field strip this pistol. This is a Smith Wesson SD9VE, and the first thing we have to do when we field strip a pistol is to make sure it is unloaded. So I will first take out the magazine. This is the magazine release button right here. Pull out the magazine, set it aside. Next thing I want to do is rack the slide 3 times, and that will eject any round in the chamber and verify that there's nothing being loaded into the chamber. So next I will use the slide stop, which is right here. It moves up and down, as you can see. And I'm going to push the slide all the way to the rear while simultaneously pushing up with my thumb on the slide stop, and it's going to go right in this position right here where you can see it's cut out of the slide. You won't necessarily see that because my left hand's going to be in the way when I'm racking the slide. So rack the slide, push up on that slide stop button, and it holds the slide in a locked back position. This means that the action is open so that you can verify that it is unloaded. So next I will double check, verify that there is no magazine in the magazine well, because I can just look straight down the magazine well here. And then I will also look inside the chamber visually, and I also stick my finger into the chamber, and my pinky goes right into the chamber, so that verifies there's no round in the chamber. So that's the unloading procedure for every semi-automatic pistol. Next I will close the slide, and to do that I will push back on the slide again, but I won't touch the slide stop button. When I push back on it a little bit, it will release the slide lock button, which will pop down, and then I can release the slide forward. At this point, we have to get the slide off of the frame. And to do that, there's what they call a takedown catch. It's right here. It's on both sides of the frame, and it runs directly underneath the slide with a spring that's pushing it up against the slide to hold the slide on to the frame. So what we need to do is push back about 1/4 of an inch on the slide like this to hold it in place, and there are serrations on the takedown catch, which I will use my fingernails in and push down on that catch so that the slide can slide forward. Now at this point it's ready to come off, but the last step to do to get this slide off of the frame is to pull the trigger. Obviously we point it in a safe direction when we do so. That will release your slide and it comes right off of the frame. The next thing to do is to take off the guide rod assembly. It has the recoil spring on here, and the guide rod runs right down the center of that spring. Now that spring is captured, so it's not going to fly off when we take it out, but I do need to put a little bit of pressure on it towards the end of the muzzle, at the end of the slide, so that I can get it to come loose of the barrel cam lug, which is right here. So I'm gonna just push a little bit to my left with my thumb, and the guide rod assembly comes right out. Next step is to take out the barrel, and an easy way to do that is you can see that there's a cutout right here for the ejection port, and I just push up on it with my finger like so, and that takes the barrel up so I can just slide it right out of the slide. I'll set that aside. At this point, the slide is disassembled enough to go ahead and clean it. I don't normally disassemble my slides any further for routine cleaning. I will show you how to do that in another video, but for the purposes of this video, a simple field strip, that's it. And now I'll show you how to put it back together after you've cleaned it. So it's the reverse process. We take our slide, put our barrel into the slide through the hole at the end of the slide, and then just tip it backwards so it slides right back into place. Next we take our guide rod assembly, and you'll notice that one end is a little bit smaller than the other. That end is the end that goes right in this hole on the end of the slide under the barrel. So we just put that in position right there, and again you have to push a little bit of pressure towards the front of the muzzle to get that spring to retract and lock down right behind that barrel lug. We make sure that the guide rod assembly is straight, and at this point you can see that the barrel and the guide rod assembly is captured, so it's not going to fall off. Next you will notice that there are grooves cut into the slide which accept the slide rails here on the frame. So what we have to do is to to make sure that those slide rails go right into the grooves there on the slide. Just wiggle it a little bit so it goes all the way to the rear. And then the last step is to rack the slide once so that the takedown catch will grab onto the slide and lock it into position. And now our pistol is fully reassembled and ready to go back to the range. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it was useful to you, and we'll see you next time.